Yes, everyone, what's happening? My name is Stephen Howson, and this is the Patreon podcast. A bit formal, that, wasn't it? Fuck that off. Hiya, you fucking bunch of savages. This is the Patreon podcast. Thank you for your support. Right then, you motherfuckers, let's get into it. Sit here the day before the 24-hour podcast. I've got a sore throat. Think I'm coming down with something, which is fucking pretty much the worst thing that could fucking happen ahead of this, because talking for 24 hours is minging. Staying awake for 24 hours is a piece of piss. I do it more than I want to do it. But talking for 24 hours is so fucking difficult. It really fucking... It can't... Talking for 24 hours is like being awake for 3 days rather than one. You're so fucking drained by the end of it. And I'm going to come out with some utter bollocks over the next 36 hours. Should be a right laugh. Right. Brian, how do I think Jose will do, and what do I think his reception will be when he comes back to Old Trafford? I think he does well with his Tottenham team because it's sort of a team in the age bracket that he likes. He's got a strong defence, got a strong midfield. There's some characters in there. I think he probably really enjoys fucking having them. His reception when he comes back to Old Trafford, I think it'll be surprisingly good. Considering that he caused a lot of the shit that happened towards the back end of what went on, I think it'll be surprisingly good, his reception. I think it'll be very good, because I was shocked what it was like when he was here, when he was covering for Sky or whatever it was the other week. The amount of people singing his name and stuff, that did definitely shock me. Am I ready for the ultimate redemption arc in Jose's quadruple season? I think he does well, but I don't think he does that well. I don't think he wins a league, to be honest. Not now. He would have won a league previously if he'd been here when Poch has been here. With Poch's sacking, does this put pressure on Ole, similar to what happened when Jose got sacked and LVG clearly under more pressure? Can we trust the board to hold its nerve and stick with Ole now? Yeah, I think so, because the difference is with LVG and Jose is Jose was, at the time, the only bump in the road he'd ever had was at Chelsea in that back end of that season, and what happened with Eva Cañero. Apart from that, his record was flawless. And he was still a massive, massive, massive draw. With how it's gone tits up at United, I think it's taken the shine off him a little bit. And I don't think Pochettino, who's won less than fucking Ole has, regardless of whether it's the Norwegian league, he hasn't even won a Norwegian league. So, he's not won anything. I don't think it's the same sort of pressure. Based on our apparent Brexit recruitment plan, how could you see our squad shaping up in 3 to 5 years' time? I don't know, mate. To be honest, that's a really hard question that I can't answer it. I have no idea. Is it sustainable, or are we eventually forced to look abroad for the X Factor? We will have to look abroad for X Factor. I don't personally think that we've been solely focusing on those players. I don't know why we went with certain players. I think it's just mainly coincidental. I think they probably did want to sort of prepare for Brexit because we don't actually know still what the fuck that's going to result in. But no, I don't think we're totally ruling out buying foreign players at all. If Ole gets signings in January and we do sign Sancho and Haaland, how do I think we'd line up? Because both would want to start. Absolutely they would. I think Dan James becomes the impact sub, and it's probably the end of Tony Marshall. But I think more important than that, we need a midfielder. And do I think we buy these players? Pogba may want to stay as they'll be in a position to compete next season. I think Pogba and Marshall are going to go. Just a pure gut feeling that I think we're trying to do that. Christian, I was just to see my country Wales qualify for the Euros, but in the days since I've been wondering how much, if anything, Dylan Levitt has gained from being selected because he's been called up twice and not got on the pitch in either international window as yet. How much do I think he will have learned or taken away from it? I think it's probably good for him in terms of that he's seeing a different managerial setup, although Giggs is definitely from the cult of Ferguson as well as Ole. They could probably be cut from the same cloth, the pair of them. But he's playing with the likes of Gareth Bale, he's playing with the likes of Ramsey, a couple of players that have just recently been working with Cristiano Ronaldo. There's a lot of variety and experience of coming together within an international team. He will have been learning stuff. He will have been learning different stuff than he would have been learning by not playing first team at United, because it wasn't a case of like, oh, go for Wales and and don't get first team at United. I think it does bits for him. It would have been more if he'd got on the pitch, but maybe we'll see him in the Euros. What do I reckon is actually wrong with Jesse? I know his game isn't based around scoring, but there's been a massive fall-off in form. Just wondering if I know anything personal going on. I don't. Obviously, his form coincidentally dipped once he split up with, what was she called, Jenna Froome. So I don't know if he needs to just start smashing absolute tens again. I'm sure there's no shortage of a millionaire footballer's inbox on Instagram is probably absolutely filth. In fact, that'd be such a great video, wouldn't it, if a player was up for it? Like, yeah, fuck it. This is the sort of shit that I get sent on a daily basis. It'd probably make you hate them more, I bet. I don't know. I think there's a lot of players that haven't recovered their form post-World Cup, if you think about it. Who performed well in the World Cup that's still performing well now? Especially for England. There's not really anyone, is there? A lot of people peaked at the World Cup. Possibly Maguire, but he's hardly setting the world alight. He's doing all right, isn't he? Sterling, did he shine in the World Cup? Don't think he did. Pretty ordinary in the World Cup, if anything. Harry Kane's definitely gone down. Dele Alli's gone down. Jesse Lingard's gone down. They featured heavily and did well in the World Cup. Get out. So, I don't know, it just could be a form thing, an injury thing, a confidence thing. I think that some of the press that he's been getting has probably not been good for him. Realistically, what positions do I think Ollie will strengthen in January? It's got to be a midfield. It could even be several midfielders, to be honest. Can I name the 5 academy players to make their debut next? Levitt, Laird, Mengi. I think you've got Galbraith. Outside them 4, I think you're scraping the barrel. You're looking at like Deschamps, Bernard and Mengi. There's probably not much between them. I think because Mengi's so much younger, they'll probably put a bit more emphasis on him. There's not much in terms of them, in terms of ability. Galbraith, Levitt, Garner, there's not much between them in terms of ability. It's just who's flavour of the month or what sort of particular tool that you're looking for. 5's a big call when we've played so many already. There's so many in and around the team. 5 is huge. I mean, if you get 1 through every year, you're fucking outperforming every other academy. Do I think Kane will struggle under Jose? I've said it before, the reason he scored a lot of goals because he creates a lot of chances, gets a lot of chances. Jose's team's usually clinical because they aren't as creative. Not always. Obviously, different when he was with Ronaldo at Real Madrid. He can be very attacking if he knows that defence is very good. I think it'll be interesting. We'll find out. Probably not this weekend. I think it's too early to tell. But I also think that you normally see a manager bounce because the players didn't like the manager. I don't think Tottenham's issues are because of the manager necessarily. So it'd be really interesting to see if there isn't a bounce and they just continue to fucking slide. Because I tell you what, when the going gets tough, like there's a going's getting tough when you're at the top. Jose's pretty good at that. The going getting tough and it ain't going your way. I don't know if he's the guy that you want for that. I think he's a bit snide. Will Spurs win the title before us now? No. When am I releasing this month's OnlyFans pictures? What? Who's my favourite ever United coach? Kyrgios, McLaren, Knox, Kidd or Phelan? Jimmy Murphy. If I had to bet all my money on who United will sign in January, who would the signings be? Maddison. And who will the player be to break the number 7 curse? Sancho would be a great shout for it, wouldn't he? We'll see. The most important question at the times of our great club, how lucrative is this Lego deal? Oh, fucking hell. Fuck's sake, no. I don't know. Does my dad have his name on his seat at Old Trafford? No, and neither do I. I am in 22 years of having a season ticket at Old Trafford. But this is a relatively new phenomenon in terms of people actually getting a season ticket in their names. My season ticket up until 2013 was in the name James Matthewson. Never met the guy. I don't know who he is. But this was prior to Fergie going, probably a bit earlier than that, actually. It was probably like around the Champions League win, the last Champions League win. There was a bit of a period where we had we had some bits where the season ticket waiting list was genuinely huge. 25,000 on a season ticket waiting list. You'd be on it for years and years and years. So you didn't join the season ticket waiting list. That was a waste of fucking time. You just name changed people's season ticket. I let one of my mates have it when I was in Afghanistan, and I let a different mate have it when I was in Iraq. But it's still, I mean, I don't even know if James Mathewson was the original guy that passed it on to me. I don't even remember how I fucking end up getting it, but you just get it through people you go to the match with. For ages, when I was a kid, we had memberships with my dad, and then that became season tickets in 1997, and the season tickets weren't in our name. And then I had that one with James Mathewson in K-Stand right up until Fergie's last season, and then the following season, that first Moyes season, I moved to the middle of K-Stand, right underneath the camera guy, literally directly underneath the camera guy in the centre of K-Stand above the goal. And I sat there on my own. But my dad had dropped his season ticket because of work a couple of times in that time. And he only got it back again about 2011. I think he went a couple of years without going. But I didn't sit with him for years. He was with his mates and I was with mine. Because you get to that stage, don't you, where you're almost like embarrassed to go to the match with your dad at a certain age, but then you kind of get past that, and now I fucking love going to the match with my dad. It's awesome. So Jay will have that fucking period where he just doesn't want to fucking come to the match with me, but then 10 years after that, he'll be like, we're getting a season to go, what, you fucking knobhead. So no, I don't have it on. They did actually say, if you can prove you've had a season ticket for X number of years, we'll do it for you. But it seemed like a lot of faffing about, and it was like fucking CSI Stretford. So, like, it seemed like a lot of fucking about. But I could have probably done it because, you know, I was paying that guy fucking monthly for the season ticket. So, any indication on what our plan will be without McTominay? Could Levitt feature? I think Garner will be ahead of him. Be very interesting, wouldn't it, if he went with Levitt? I mean, Levitt's probably a bit more compass on the ball rather than being off the ball, so we'll see. While I'm just thinking about it, anyone, could someone just fucking drop Adam a text and see what time he's in? What's he said?
Running late, just being pushed into a meeting, just going in.
Okay. In Germany, they often play 4-3-3 with a 6, an 8 and a 10 in midfield. Isn't that something United should be looking at? Yeah, you can do that. You can definitely do that, but then it looks a bit more like a 4-2-3-1 when you do it. Maybe with Maddison at the 10, Pogba as an 8 and Scott as a 6. I don't think that'd be a terrible midfield, to be honest. Any plans to bring back Meat Pie? Really enjoyed that over the World Cup. Plus you and Ben have a great dynamic. I think we probably would. We sort of mentioned it a bit about, didn't we, about doing something like that for the Euros. I don't think I'm going to go and cover the Euros because it's not in one country, it's just all over Europe. It's a bit of a mess, really, isn't it? Yeah, England are playing at fucking Wembley for a lot of it. All of them. Fucking hell are you doing? Why is it blue? Okay. So yeah, we probably will bring back Meat Pie next year. Do I think Pochettino started because he lost the United job and lost the plot after? I don't know. I reckon it's probably some of the off the field stuff really didn't help him, but ultimately I don't really fucking know. Thoughts on this 23 capital tied to George Mendes, big global investors? Have I heard anything about them before? Do you think it's going to be the temporary stopgap for money, continuing to pour into football to the point where TV rights party crash? No, I don't. Let me have a check out of that one. Crafty Badger, how will Stretford Paddock be funded? Paddock FC be funded? Am I the chairman or the manager? Maybe I'm both. I am both. What do you mean you hope not? I'm both. So, I'm funding it. Or maybe technically you guys are funding it to a certain extent. Wage budgets in the Conference South, Conference North down, apparently aren't crazy. All the way into the Northwest counties. They're like a lot lower than you'd think. And wage budgets and all that kind of stuff is just a lot less than what you would expect them to be. And actually, with what we're trying to invest into it, Stretford Paddock FC will become a new channel. Probably with its own socials, and we'll try and distinguish them from Stretford Paddock at some point, because I can envisage some fucking issues with it. I can see there being some sort of crossovers where people are like, well, are you a fan channel or are you a football team? I say, why can't we be both? Why can't we be United fans that fancied having a fucking kickabout, and we're doing whatever we want to do with it? Cam, just leave it on the left-hand side and just put the Sheffield United one there. I don't care. So we're hoping to gain some sponsorship and stuff like that. We are going to start the games, and the content's going to start coming out probably on my channel. We'll make a trailer for the Paddock FC channel, and then we will put some content on that channel and tell you to go and subscribe to that channel, like, coming soon, here's what's going to happen and things. But we hope it'll be funded the same way as other football clubs are at this level, but with sponsorship. But also the YouTube channel could potentially bring in a little bit of revenue as well. And because of the eyes that we're hopefully going to bring to it, we hope that we're doing something totally different to other people in this sphere. And we've got a couple of plans and things that we know that people aren't doing that could do good numbers and could open us up to a wide audience. Who's going to support us? I don't know, to be honest. United fans, maybe. Some will, some won't, because they just don't like me, probably, and that'll be enough reason for them to hate everything Stretford Paddock do as well. But ultimately, we're just a couple of lads from round here that want to play football together and want to have a good go at it. And almost like, as Liam Gallagher said, why me, why not? Why not try it? Why not have a good laugh? Why not see what we can do? Why not have an attempt to try and make an impact on something? Is there a shortage of football teams around here? Not really. There's fucking loads, isn't there? But ultimately, I don't know. I feel like it's almost like put your money where your mouth is. You fucking criticise managers and tactics and how other people do this, that and the other. Well, can you do any better? Let's fucking find out. How do I get that top, says Carbon Type. What top? The Paddock top? We will be releasing merch once we confirm the sponsor and kit manufacturer that it's going to be. Hopefully it's Umbro and Sharp. We'll see. And that's the next question, same here. How brilliant would it be if Mourinho signed Matic in January? I think he's trying. Just curious, if hypothetically wanted to get Sam Homewood or Statman Dave on a warm down, are they allowed to, or UTV put a stop to it? No, we'll be allowed to. Sam keeps trying to get it on, but he's struggling. Steve, I know you covered Mabry the other day, but how far away is he from a possible debut, considering we're light in midfield, a sub-appearance against Colchester? There's definitely some flair about him. Yeah, there is some. He's got some stuff about him, for sure. I think physically he's not quite ready, but he's a fucking very good player. I think probably the lads that we've already mentioned, Galbraith, Levitt, they'd have to get games before he does. But always say you never know. Solskjaer might just go, there's my fucking little prodigy that I'm going to bring through. Every manager kind of gets one of them little favourites, don't they? Might be his. He watches them. Who's the most underrated United player currently and ever, in my opinion? Ever, Michael Carrick. I think Michael Carrick was genuinely top. And do you know what? I would almost go as far as to say David Beckham, most underrated United player, because I think most people dismiss him because of the vast celebrity that he got. Do the cables, lads, while I'm thinking about it. You need the HDMIs and all the microphone cables for those. And lay out some of the power extensions as well. And remember, we have to think tidy and safe. I think David Beckham, Michael Carrick from my era. Maybe it's somebody from the 50s and 60s that wasn't a Ballon d'Or winner. Maybe it's Nobby Stiles, guy won a World Cup and a European Cup. Don't get mentioned about at all. And hello, brother, looking forward to a 24-hour podcast. Probably too late. I'm assuming I'm doing auctions tomorrow. Have I considered doing them on eBay to eradicate the time wasters? Yes, mate, and that is exactly what we're doing. So we will be uploading and dropping the link on all socials and into the chat and everything tomorrow to stop the time wasters, because it's really difficult running an auction in YouTube chat. So we'll give you the link, we will talk about it, we'll bring it up on screen to show you, and you can go and deal with it over there. And I don't know what the crack is with paying. I think maybe we have... I'll look into it later tonight and we'll figure it out. But yeah, we was doing that anyway. Duo, odds on Jose being a right shithouse when he comes back to Old Trafford and do what he did in Turin with his hand behind his ear or something. I don't think so, because I think he probably isn't going to get abused by our fan base. So I imagine it'll probably be a little bit friendlier. But I definitely agree. I think he'll be a shithouse in terms of the performance that he puts on. Righty, that is it. I've had some exciting meetings and conversations this week around Paddock. We've got a fucking fantastic commentator in Pundit J. If you don't follow him on Twitter, I suggest you go do so, because he's fucking hilarious when he does the breakdowns. And he's probably going to get pulled off Twitter very soon, because he always fucking records his TV with his phone, which is against copyright. So at some point, they're going to fucking shut him down and fuck him up. So get onto him. He's well worth a follow. Very interested to see what sort of dynamic there is with the Stretford Paddock team and what we go on and do. We are aiming for the football pyramid. If you think, do you know what, I wouldn't mind seeing if I could play fucking semi-pro, this is where you're going to do that. This is where you could do that. As for our little game, we are going to be doing a game on the 6th of December. Let me know if you fancy coming along to that. It was a great one last time. It was pissing down. This time it's probably going to be freezing. The Wes Brown stuff, he's in Singapore at the moment. Hotel football are being dicks. We might have to make it January. It's very close now. I would like a bit more of a lead time, because we've still got to sort out how the ticketing works and all that sort of stuff. So I'm thinking it's probably easier for us to do this in January. Probably the week after we do the trial, something like that. But again, I'm at the mercy of Wes Brown and Hotel Football. So thank you guys for your support. I was going to do a comments club today, but the prep that we've got to do for the podcast tomorrow is fucking killing us. So we'll do the comments club next week. I think the week after we're hoping to do the first proper on-site live pizza review, which should be awesome. And then obviously the week after we've got our little match with the Patreons. So cheers for your support. The issue with Discord hopefully is resolved, and we're going to start making sure everybody that's been dipped out can get back in. I'll see you guys in the next one. Laters.